nerds, welcome to the Nerd Rundown Presents, where today we're going to take a look back at 2021 and our favorite things that we consumed last year. I'm Darren Simple. With me today are my three best friends in the whole entire world. Erik Hare, Morg Shanto, Brett King. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. We were so on sync with that.
Yeah. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds on 2021. It was a interesting year, maybe not the best year, but let's start off with our top 5 movies. Let me start with you, Erik, to see what your top 5 movies that you watched in 2021 were.
All that planning, I thought he was starting with me.
So first, I'm just going to start off with, I think the reason why this movie, I can tell you the reason why this movie is in my list at number 5 for 2 reasons. It's the first time I've been to a movie in almost 2 years. So sitting in a movie theater was awesome. I mean, it was really great. And
it felt so good.
And the other part was, it was the first movie that I've seen with just my son. So you know, I've taken him to see movies with my wife and my daughter, you know, and the whole family before, but this is the first time I've ever taken my son to see a movie, just him and I, and it was Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great. It was everything that I wanted a Godzilla movie to be like, and a King Kong movie all in one, and it was really spectacular. Even had a little Die Hard nod in there, which you know, you can't go wrong with a little nod to Die Hard.
Remember,
never
the part where he jumps off, when Kong jumps off of the aircraft carrier into the water. He does the John McClane.
How he jumps off the building,
he jumps off the building. When he jumps off the aircraft carrier, he does the John McClane. So I loved it. So so I'm getting away from exactly what I said.
Immediately went the opposite of what we planned.
It was like,
you threw him off by thinking him at first after you were like, all right, so I'm Morgan, we do this.
And the reason why I have this rule
is like, so Erik.
You want us to go to Morgan?
No. So number 4 is 8-Bit Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I loved 8-Bit Christmas. I thought it was great. It was a huge surprise for me. I was not expecting. I hadn't heard anything of it. Hadn't seen any trailers. And so to get a good Christmas movie like that, just it was great. 3 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. And then controversial. I know this is going to be controversial for you guys, but I have number 2 is Spider-Man: No Way Home. So and my reasoning.
And I'll be smart.
Yep. My reasoning is the movie that I have at the number 1 slot, Dune, was just spectacular. I mean, and nothing against Spider-Man. I loved the Spider-Man movie. I will probably watch the Spider-Man movie more than I will watch the Dune movie, but it just was so spectacular. I just loved it. So I don't really, like I said, it could have gone either way with those 2. It really could. And I imagine you guys probably all have Spider-Man on your list, but for me, I felt like Dune was just epic in scale, and just so, and I saw it on an IMAX screen, and it was just incredible. So yeah, those are my top 5. So
yeah, great top 5. I think we match up on a few of those. I have Godzilla versus Kong because that was a movie theater experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was one of those things that you have to see that movie in a theater. I have 8-Bit Christmas, one of the just instant Christmas classics. I loved it from the first second of the first trailer that we watched.
Yep.
And of course, No Way Home is my number 1. So
Spoiler.
We'll come back to my list, but
we got 4 of them. You might as well finish it.
You got 3 of them.
No, I agree with Erik.
3 of them.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I know, like, our list together, I mean, we all agree they're going to be good movies. I can guarantee it. None of us are going to, well, I know the King's feeling on Dune, but I know we all, I think, are going to agree on their list where it's hard to narrow down with a top 5 because there's just so much out there that I would have every single one of those on my list if we had a top 10. You know what I mean?
But Brett, what'd you think of Eric's list?
I just thought Brett was going to go. That's my bad.
I'm still trying to learn
a
the
little
format.
rusty. Yeah, we're a little rusty. Go ahead. Feedback.
Yeah,
What do you think of Eric's list? Yeah.
I liked your list. It was I didn't see 8-Bit Christmas. I actually made a.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm actually made a list. I didn't know if we'd get to it, but I made a list of things of movies I wish I'd saw that I'd seen, and that was just one of them because it's a Christmas movie and I just never stopped to watch it, and it was one of my 4 movies that I wish I'd made some time to see.
That's one of the only movies. It's not on my list, but I watched that one multiple times.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
totally.
The first time was on Thanksgiving after I probably drank a bottle of whiskey while cooking turkeys. So I just passed out while watching it. So I had to watch it again. But it is a good movie.
Yeah.
I did love the Kong Godzilla movie. There was never been movies that I've liked. BT kind of got into them recently, and I've watched all of them. And then we watched that one, and I enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was a good movie. Like,
it's fun.
It was fun.
The worst part of those movies is the people.
Oh yeah,
they're just like you at some point you kind of root for the monsters because you're just like, you know what? Like,
I don't care about 11.
Right, you know.
I love the twist of the underworld in that movie too. Like,
they go to the core or whatever.
I was just talking to someone about that, where they're like, that part didn't make any sense, and it was like,
you're watching Godzilla versus
picking it apart now. Like,
first explain Godzilla and Kong and how that makes sense. Then we'll talk about
the giant ass monkey.
You were okay.
Totally on board.
I always love that when I'm watching like a zombie show or something with somebody.
That's where they lost you, right?
You're watching a zombie show. There's no way they could do that. And it's like, that's what throws you off?
Right.
The zombie apocalypse or the aliens or whatever it is.
I remember going to see a comedian one time, and I went to go see Jim Gaffigan. And
they had a 3-headed dragon in the last one, okay?
Yeah, right. They had this comedian that went before Jim Gaffigan was so funny. He was talking about heroin, and he was talking about this person that he was talking to about how they said they would never do heroin because they have a thing for needles. Like they are afraid of needles. And the guy goes, really? That's what's holding you back from doing heroin is the needles.
If they could just get that in pill form, let's go. It's the needle. That's the only thing.
Jackson. So I take my son Jackson to see Godzilla versus Kong, and we're about a half hour, 40 minutes into the movie, and he goes, I said, "Are you having a good time?" He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Can we just pause it and go home and finish watching the movie at the house though?" And I was like, no, it doesn't quite work that way, so but it, I loved it. I mean, 6 years old, he's like, I was like, you know what, buddy,
what's his movie munchie? What's he get when he watches movies?
Well, he's at that point he got some popcorn and he got some M&Ms. So it's changed a little bit now with his stuff. So he's got to do something a little bit different now. But we gave him medicine this last time, and I think we actually did give him a little bit of M&Ms. So because we had to kind of give him some. So I'm like, okay, we'll give you medicine before the movie starts, because we went and saw Spider-Man. We're like, give you medicine before the movie starts, but you got to eat these M&Ms quick, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. So
just real quick, so taking a kid to a movie. So I took Carson to see Eternals, and he had to pee at an important part, and I knew he was going to, and I was just like, I get it, but I'm pissed off at the same time. I'm like, let's go. I'm making a run. So before we go to see Spider-Man, I looked at him and I said, pee now, and I'm controlling your liquid intake. And he was pounding popcorn, and that kid was so thirsty. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, here's your cap full of water. Take this little bits at a time, because we can't leave during this movie. Because I know the second we get up, something's going to happen. I'm going to be pissed.
Totally. Yeah, that's when Andrew Garfield comes through the portal.
Yeah,
right. Something.
Like
I did have to take Jack during.
That's why I like having
MJ
girls
pop up. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a slow part. Like they're just in someone's dining room.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be slow down.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so no. MJ having a convo at the dinner, and now's the time to go to the bathroom.
Just
Son of a
MJ.
bitch.
MJ and Ned time. That's. I just forgot what I was going to say.
Well, we were talking about. I think we had talked about in the previous show about nostalgia. With Spider-Man and how they balance the nostalgia very well and everything. My number 3 at Ghostbusters, another one where they balanced nostalgia really, really well. They had plenty of callbacks, but yet they still let these kids own the movie themselves and do the stuff that they were supposed to do. And yeah, we get a cameo, at the tail end, but I
haven't seen it.
But it was great. It was really great. Well, it's awesome. It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. We watched it a couple times. We've got it. We've got it already too. Yep. So it was really good. You should watch it.
Yeah. I'm going to go next with my list because we already have more than half of it. But with that great list, Eric, I agree with a lot of your lists. Not my list starts number 5 is the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Really, really, really enjoyed this movie. Was really excited about it, and it lived up to my hype expectations. Number 4 is Godzilla versus Kong. Really great movie theater experience. 8-Bit Christmas, number 3. And then my number 2 is little John Krasinski love, A Quiet Place Part 2, or as I like to call it, A Quiet Deuce, because you better be doing that a little bit quiet and better not be making too much noise in the woods.
You're killing it when you laugh at your own jokes. You just
if he doesn't laugh at him, nobody will. So
to be fair,
I'm loving it.
To be fair, he also laughs at his own farts in the bathtub. So
when I fart.
I love poop jokes. I will never get rid of. I will never get sick of poop jokes. So Spider-Man No Way Home.
Listen, I didn't think it was a shitty joke.
My number 1 being No Way Home. I just haven't had a movie theater experience like that with emotions and nostalgia and just every nerdgasm moment you can think of since Endgame. I walked out of that movie thinking it may have been better than Endgame. So I still think I need to watch it a little bit more to decide that, but that's how good it was for me. And I remember I texted Brett. I came out, I texted Brett, I said, I don't even know where to begin to start talking about that movie because it was just there was so much goodness to it. We
should have a separate show just on it. I really think we should just do a.
I'm surprised you did.
You just got to call it spoiler, full of spoilers and go.
Yeah, just say our full spoiler take on Spider-Man.
I think we do it when it comes out on video or on stream.
I think they got a 45-day. They got a 45-day window. I think they got a 45-day window. But yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that's great.
Once it's on digital, so we can watch it again. And I would even do a whole freaking reaction show to it.
Yeah.
We could do a long video where we watch it and talk about it.
Yeah, but I think A Quiet Place Part 2 was an incredible movie. They did such a good job following up the first movie with that. So that's my list, top 5.
No, I agree with that list. And, Quiet Place 2 almost made my list. And the thing I like most about A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2 is it shows you can make a movie where you don't have to do a lot and it's still going to be good. The first one is literally 5 minutes of dialogue at most, actual talking. This one had more, but it was a good follow-up and they did it right. They brought the John Krasinski in for the right moment, and that's so not really a spoiler. He's in the trailer. How could you not? No, they did it right. And I think my favorite thing about that is, what's his name? Who's one of my favorite actors that I can never remember his name.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy. Thank you.
That's the first time he didn't look freaky.
Right. He looked
with a beard.
And it's one of the few times I think he was actually like a real good guy. And he, and it just showed he's such a good actor. But no, that's a good choice. That was a good movie.
Thank you.
The Suicide Squad.
I still haven't seen it. Yeah, I still haven't seen Quiet Place 2, but Cillian Murphy's always does such a good job in whatever he's in. Suicide Squad, I wanted to like it. I loved the first and second act. The third act, again, we go back to the really everything else was believable, but that's too far for you. You know, like honestly, that third act, I was like, okay, I can't do this. I just can't go there with you. You know, it just was further. It was further than I.
The big starfish.
When you said I liked the first, I really thought you were about to say like the first one. I was like, it doesn't.
Oh yeah,
that's worse than
no.
That's worse than my Star Wars opinion.
I loved that first act. You know, the whole beach scene. That whole scene on the beach, especially with Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion's character where the arms come off and just, you know, and the weasel, the weasel, all that stuff. I mean, it was brilliant. You know, that first and second acts I thought were really good. And then the third, I just
watch Peacemaker.
I really want to watch that.
I watched the first two.
It just came out.
Good. It's funny. Yeah. There's 3 episodes. They released them all at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
I've watched the first two. It's good. It's funny. It's got that same. It's James Gunn, and it's got probably the best intro to a show I've ever seen.
I did watch that.
Brett, what do you think?
I didn't see Suicide Squad, so I don't have an opinion of that. A Quiet Place was a great movie. I thought it was a great way of moving the story forward without having to go backwards. Like I felt like they did a really good job of like, look, we can make a sequel without doing the exact same thing. Because so many times you see a sequel where they do almost the exact same thing, have the exact same problems. Like they had a character die, they left him dead, they moved forward. Like it's the same group going forward, and I thought that was just spot on. And they didn't try and take Cillian and what's his name again? Cillian.
Yeah, Cillian.
Yeah.
They didn't try and force him into that role.
Yeah.
He was his own standalone character, and
for sure.
And all the characters progressed. Like they didn't just like hit the reset button like Finn and just go right back to what they were at the beginning of the first one.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a good continuation.
Mm-hmm. And when you have a movie that's, I use air quotes here, handicapped in a way where you can't have a lot of noise in the movie until you can. But that's like the thing, right? You have to be quiet in it. It could really limit what you do with that movie in the next movie, but they still were able to continue the great storytelling minus, even being handicapped. They were able to continue that storytelling into the next movie.
And I'll say one thing that's really overlooked with those movies is how great the postal service is. Because in the first movie, John Krasinski has newspapers about the invasion. The second one shows you it was instantaneously the invasion. We saw it come, boom, it was over. But that postal service kept delivering papers. Think about it.
Do we know that for sure, though?
The second movie, we see it starts, and they immediately go into, here are the aliens.
I thought it only started in like certain areas, and then it spread.
Somebody delivered a paper to that town that John Krasinski got that let him know aliens were coming.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like it only started in a small area.
You think they were like, we're being invaded by aliens, but we still need to play some baseball?
So the paper.
We still need to chill. It's not going to happen here.
Hey, let's keep things normal. All right.
The upside down world in this case. That's the point where you're like, I don't believe this story.
That's it. The newspaper.
That's my stopping point.
Listen, I can barely get my mail now. No.
We've got Morgan's stopping point. Morgan, we were gonna apparently start with you on your top 5. What do you think? What do you think your top 5 is?
Number 5, The Mitchells versus the Machines.
I heard this is good.
Number 4, Encanto.
Really?
Number 3, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
Number 3, Dune.
Okay.
Number 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home. I watch a lot of family movies. having a family. We get a lot of them in Encanto. So Mitchell's versus the Machines, I thoroughly enjoyed. It's a great family movie, and it's also a thing that I feel like is coming. I don't know. I don't have a child that age. Some of us might, but there's a point where I think, a child kind of dissociates, is that the right word, from their parents or their authority figure, which is kind of what that movie's about, where the daughter's figuring out who she is and the dad just doesn't quite get her. So I feel like that it just touched me, and the bonding of that story. Encanto, that's a fantastic story. The music in it, fantastic. Everything about that I thoroughly enjoyed. Really? We actually just watched it tonight again. Dune.
Did he pick it? Or did you pick to watch?
Are you giving us your list again, Morgan?
I'm just going real quick why I like it. Dune, my first big IMAX theater experience back.
Yeah,
with COVID, so that could play a part into it. But I really like Dune. I thought it was good. Ghostbusters Afterlife, again, another movie that knows how to do the nostalgia correctly. And I liked that the Ghostbusters were known in that world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that pissed me off most about Ghostbusters 2, is like they just forgot they saved New York. Right. And everyone was like, ghosts aren't real. It's like, what? Just a couple of years ago, they literally almost took over New York.
The Titanic.
The Titanic. Better late than never.
Lady Liberty.
Better late than never. Yeah. And then Spider-Man No Way Home, of course. Everything we listed.
I'm really surprised in Encanto, because I'm not a fan of that one. I feel
like you got to back up and tell me what this movie is.
Encanto is the newest.
It's a Pixar. Is it Pixar or is it Disney?
Yeah, or Disney.
It's about
a girl
Disney whose whole family has superpowers because they're blessed by this the special.
Okay.
And she doesn't have them.
Luca is way better than Encanto,
I so is half of that last weekend. And
Luca.
Raya, did you watch Raya?
I was going to say, and Raya the Last Dragon was by far the best.
I took a sick day and watched that.
Yeah, that's way better.
I watched all those. I think Encanto is better than all of them.
Obviously.
I haven't watched Encanto.
I liked all those.
Yet, but I loved Raya. I thought Raya the Last Dragon was really, really great.
Yeah, dude,
I was surprised. I was surprised at how much I liked that movie. And Luca, I thought was really good too. The dad in that reminds me of the dad in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yes.
The mustache and everything. So
Luca was so much better than Encanto.
Yeah.
And Coco is so much better than Encanto.
I'm throwing this out there. I did forget about Luca.
Yeah, Luca.
I forgot that existed.
Luca is the Italian
Luca. Where'd Hugo?
Watching that movie.
About the scooter, the Italian boys with scooters.
They're mermaids.
Insane.
Nope.
Yeah, they are.
So throw my wife under the bus again. We're watching this, and I tune in late, because it started without me. And she's like, I'm like, oh, what's this? And they're like, and she says it, and she's like, yeah. And she goes, yeah, it takes place in like Spain and stuff. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there listening. And I'm like, where? And she's like, oh, like Spain. And I'm like, hey, you sure about that? So it's Bruno. Like, I'm saying stuff. And she's like, oh, that might be Italian. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Our Bruno's Encanto, but Luca.
I watched the Dragon one.
No, so
the Dragon one is right.
Lazio
really
Bruno
good.
is what they say to quell that voice in your head that's telling you not to do it.
Yeah.
The Dragon one I thought was really similar to Avatar, though. If you ever watched The Last Airbender, I thought there was a lot of similarities that ran there.
Yeah. And a little bit to Shang-Chi too, but it was really good. I thought that was a really good one.
No,
it may have had the best trailer of the year, actually. Good list there. More Erik, what else was your number 5? Oh, Mitchell versus Me. I heard that was a good one. Yeah,
that is.
I want to watch that.
I really like that.
I need to watch it.
It's funny.
I haven't seen that one.
I think it's free.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
It's on Netflix
or Netflix.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
Because I don't think that's a Pixar or Disney. I think that's its own, right?
Yeah.
No, it's Sony. It's the same people that did Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, yep. And Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I think. Probably. Anyway, Brett, top 5 movies. I know you got a bit of a spin on yours.
I picked the top 5 movies, but I picked them based off of things we have not talked about on this rundown because I didn't want to re-talk about things that we'd already talked about. So every one of these are things that
So
we
they're
didn't
not
talk
your
about.
true top
So-
5.
So it's not the true top 5 because I don't have Spider-Man in it and I don't have some other movies that we really enjoyed in them. But they were all good movies in their own right. Number 5, I had Red Notice.
Hmm.
Number 4, I had Sweet Girl. Number 3, I had Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Number 2, I had Fear Street. And number 1, I had The Tomorrow War.
Ooh.
And
Tomorrow
so
War.
That's
Tomorrow War
controversial.
almost made my list. And
It,
all that one
it
almost
was
did.
on the bubble for me. It was
Yeah.
on the bubble. There were a couple
Wow.
that were on the bubble for me. Tomorrow War and No Time to Die
Wow.
Yeah.
were both on the bubble.
See,
That's a
Tomorrow
great
War-
list.
Further away-
I,
the further
I
I
haven't
get
seen any of those
on-
movies except for Tomorrow War.
well, I'll tell you, they're all
But a
good.
Sweet Girl.
Sweet Girl.
You haven't seen Red Notice?
Nah,
I didn't watch Red Notice either.
yeah.
Let me back up to Red Notice, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, that like trio, The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadget, that was phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
Gal
How
what?
do you go wrong? Gal
Gadget.
Gadget.
got it?
Go Gal Gadget.
Yeah. Gadget.
Zoe.
Gadget, Gal Gadget.
It's Inspector Gadget dressed
Love
up.
it.
They were a trio. They were a really good trio. And
Yeah.
I'm always amazed because I love Ryan Reynolds. Like, he's a great actor, but he's the same character and everything. Like,
Oh, everything.
since 2 guys ago in a pizza shop, he's been the same guy.
Right. I never get sick of it though. I don't.
But like,
don't.
as long as you
Same
pair
with
him
Vince
with new
Vaughn.
people, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great. That was a good movie. It was funny. It,
Yeah.
it was like Indiana
It was good.
Jones.
Yeah.
It
I
was
think
good.
they even played the
I-
indie theme in it.
They did.
I haven't watched it. Not that I have anything
I didn't
against it because
watch it,
I
yeah.
love all 3 of those people. So
Yeah.
I just haven't made the time to watch it yet. But
I agree. My thing is I just have that fear of it's a Netflix movie, and just every Netflix movie I watch is always lacking something.
Yeah, one leg is longer than the other.
Brett,
So-
what Fear Street you like, huh?
Like,
Well, let me get to Sweet Girl because they asked about that next.
yeah.
Okay.
Sweet Girl had
yeah.
Jason
Oh, yeah.
Momoa in it,
Yeah.
and like when I watch it, I'm like, this doesn't seem like a Jason Momoa
I
movie.
don't remember
And
that.
so I had to do a little bit of research on it.
He's
And-
divorced now, by the way.
Yeah,
Really?
and
Yeah, yeah.
him and the gal from Cosby Show broke up.
Screw your story,
Yeah.
by the way.
Sorry. Go ahead. All the ladies love Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa. My wife's going to be leaving me here. Start the timer now.
Oh, I did want to watch this. I remember this now. I did want to watch it. It looked good.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
got to be friends with the director because everything the director's done, he's been in. So that's how
Yeah.
he got in this movie. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Watch it. It
Better
has one of
not.
the best twists at the end that you just didn't see coming.
Ooh,
Is he blind in this?
No, that's
that's the
C.
show.
That's the show.
Oh,
C
yeah, it's
on
yeah.
Apple Plus.
But yeah, that's the show. Cannot see.
A bigger twist than Frailty with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, that's a big twist.
I didn't see that, so I don't know.
I didn't see that.
Bigger
Bill
twist than
Paxton's
those.
directorial debut. It's
Is that an
It's
old
worth
It's a
movie?
good movie.
it is an old movie. It's worth it.
It is really good. Bigger twist than The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan.
With a twist.
The twist was it was horrible.
Yeah.
That was the
so
twist.
bad. That was so bad.
The twist is it's a shit movie.
It's like, I'm making a crap movie.
To be fair, like if you watch that show, like for them to try and cram as much as they did in that movie, it was never going to be
Well,
successful.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem with Turner.
They
Like,
cram
when it's a
Brianna,
movie, you just can't
how,
do
why
it.
is it? Why do you get M. Night to do that? You know,
I
like,
don't know.
Sure.
And
it's-
did he leave Pennsylvania to do it?
No, he can't.
Never does.
No,
He can't. If he
filmed it
leaves
all in
Pennsylvania, he stops seeing dead people. We know this.
Sweet Girl happens in Pennsylvania though, and I'll after the
Was
show
it
I'll
M.
tell
Night?
you the story.
That's the twist.
Not a
Damn
Philly
it. The twist is it's an M. Night
today.
movie.
Fear
My
Street.
third
Brett?
one was the Conjuring one,
Oh yeah, The Conjuring.
and
That's surprising. Yeah.
no, I like they have a really good universe going. That's James Wan. Like he has a really
Yeah.
good universe going in horror. Like
Is Patrick Wilson in this? And
Yes.
Farrah Farmiga?
yep. And
I did. Is it like a continuous story? Or is it like a new story every time?
well, they play the same characters. It's a new story because they were,
Like
It
they
was a
don't tie
real
into each
couple.
other.
huh?
They
Well,
don't tie
they're
into
like
each
ghost
other.
hunters, right?
Yeah, they were a nonfiction couple. They were a real married couple, and this is like some of the stories. Like How much they're stretched, I don't know.
For sure.
But there were a couple that went around and they collected, like they would find the demonic whatever trapped inside whatever happened to be, and they had a room in their house where they put them in. And like they were who you called. They were the Ghostbusters. They were who you called when you had something. It's good. Like,
but do like from movie to movie, do they know? Yeah, because they're taking all of the pieces.
Yeah, it's all the same universe.
So it's connected.
Universe. And it's the same universe as like The Nun and some other horror movies.
Annabelle. Yeah.
Yep. Like I'd like to watch it. The first one scared the shit out of me.
But what's good about them being scary is they're not scary gore porn. Like they're suspense.
Right.
They're classics.
They're the stuff that would scare me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Then Fear Street.
Yeah.
It's R.L. Stein, baby. Like,
does that include the trilogy or just the first?
I lumped them all as one.
Okay.
To be fair, at first I had them on my TV list, and then I was like, oh, I think these are movies. So I put them as a movie, and I just
I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them.
They were good. Like they were R.L. Stein, campy, classic.
Yeah, I heard it was terrible. So that's
Deanna doesn't do horror.
They were really good.
Deanna doesn't do horror, so I don't watch them. But we are going to watch Scream, the new one.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
I'm glad you put that on there on here, Brett, because I've been wondering. Like, I haven't heard a lot of good stuff about it. Didn't get critically.
I think it depends on who you ask.
Well, everything's relative. So
I heard it was good, but
I'm happy to hear, Brett, that you
as one person.
Did you like a certain one more than the other, or is it just good?
I think I like the first one more because they all take place in different years.
Right.
And I think I like the first one because you didn't see it coming. And then the second one, it's like, oh, I expect this, and you don't quite get that. It's still good. And then the third one, like, I expect this, and you don't quite get that.
But would you say, like, overall, when you put them together, it's like a good...
Yeah, if you put them all together, they're good.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Just don't compare one to the next.
Right. What was your number two?
That was
number two.
Oh, and one
was the Tomorrow War. And if you haven't seen that, that was good.
So that was really good.
Yeah,
that one was like, this is like, I am not expecting this. You know, like this is blowing me away. How crazy action this is.
So I reflected on it. Like I enjoyed it as like I just need dumb entertainment, but I wouldn't even put that in the top 10. Because there was just too much with it that I was just like
in the top 10, so we don't listen.
Listen, I can name 5 million heroes that could beat Luke Skywalker.
But not one Darth Vader.
I felt
it was you got it.
Well, okay, so after COVID, we don't get really crap in 2020. Really, after a certain time, we stopped getting anything, and then 2021, we really didn't see any movies until Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Tomorrow War was a great summer action movie, blockbuster movie that never makes it to the theater, and Amazon drops it, and fortunately, in my situation, I have a movie theater, and on that screen, it was spectacular. Like, it was really great. And
here we go with the damn movie theater in his house.
Oh, you know what? But it's got a
bougie son of a bitch.
It's right. It was spectacular. It really was, and it was exactly what I needed at the time. I needed it. I needed a Chris Pratt summer movie action, like blockbuster movie, and it delivered. It really did. I thought.
I don't know. They lost me on the Christmas Day soccer game being the big Super Bowl party that they were at.
There's no way.
That's my
Americans are like, we gotta watch soccer.
That's what I said.
As soon as they happened, I was like, garbage.
I could totally buy into. That's what I said. Yeah. Remember when we talked about that? I said I could totally buy into the aliens and the time travel. I get that. That makes total sense to me. But there's no way in hell everybody's getting together to watch a stupid soccer.
And no notch against people that watch soccer, but Chris Pratt is playing.
There should be a little notch.
Chris Pratt is playing an American man in this movie. It's like that mofo's like, what's the soccer score?
Game.
Yeah.
Even if it's college football.
My problem is there was just
that's the biggest stretch in action movie history.
And listen, I know they're traveling in time and they're fighting aliens, so if I can let that slide, I should ignore the other things. But there's just too much in it that just was just like you're just stretching it too far. It's like really like I mean, this mofo's going in a chef outfit. Like, you guys didn't have standard just black shirts and pants. Like, yeah, like there's just too much. That I was like, really? Like, come on.
For some reason, when you say the chef outfit, I'm thinking of like the Chef Boyardee, the chef
Ratatouille's under there. Like, like, what are we gonna do?
No, the Muppets chef.
I thought it was good. I thought it was familiar and original at the same time.
Like, what do these monsters look like?
Yeah.
We can't tell you because it's too scary and you won't go. Yeah, but if I don't go, you said you're gonna kill my effing family and lock me in prison. So at least show me what I'm going up against. Like, I have no choice here.
I adored Sam Richardson in this movie.
Yeah, he was really great.
I absolutely adored him. He's
his buddy.
He's the sidekick.
Okay.
I adored the chemistry that he and Chris Pratt had together, and I hope the two of them do more stuff together because I really thought they were great together. So like I don't ever want to see a Lethal Weapon reboot, but I could totally see a Lethal Weapon reboot with those two guys.
That'd be good
together, and I'd be like, okay,
wow, that would be good.
That would be good.
Cool to see those two guys.
I would take that.
Yeah.
Instead, we'll get Lethal Weapon 6 with 80-year-old Mel Gibson.
Hey, make sure the tennis balls are on the bottom of my walker.
Yeah, you too old for this shit? What?
Yeah.
How many times will they make
You definitely too old for this
How many
shit.
times do they make that joke in that movie?
Oh, every
100.
movie. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, wasn't that?
So it was a good movie. It was a good year for movies. Not the best year. It's not going to go against years like 19.
We're still dealing with COVID.
And it could have been much worse.
There were some real stinkers too. You know, we'll get to. We each picked something that we thought was the worst thing we watched all year. So maybe some of those things are in there. But let's get to TV shows. We're doing top 3 TV shows. And again, you can put your own twist on what this means. Is it that only shows that premiered last year, or is it shows that you just happened to watch last year? I'll start with you, Brett. No, we ended with you, right? Yeah. So I'm going to start with you, Brett.
All right.
I'm going to go back the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
Start
with
with you,
TV shows,
Brett.
I kind of did it. I kind of didn't. I pretty much only picked shows that premiered in 2021.
Okay.
So nothing, not like season 2, season 3.
Right.
Start in there because I felt like that was a better. I'd already liked it if I watched season 1 and I came back for 2.
Right.
So for number 3, I went with the Mighty Ducks Game Changer. Like I thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I really want to.
It's
And
good.
also let me back up. These are also ones that we haven't talked about as well.
Okay.
I didn't put any like.
We got you.
And then number 2, I put Arcane. And if you haven't seen it,
What is it?
I've heard a lot of good things.
Arcane.
I've heard a lot of good. The Critical Drinker talks about it a lot.
write it
Love that
down.
too.
Yeah, use that pen.
It's
Love that
anime.
too. Arcane. All right, I got it.
I've heard a lot of good things.
And then for my number 1, it's not a show, but I'm giving it to you anyway. I went with the way Disney presents its shows. I love the 1 episode a week, and I feel like that's bringing back the talking of instead of binging it and watching all of Cobra Kai and everything else.
Yeah.
I understand they're doing it because that keeps the money rolling in, but at the same time, I like that it's something to look forward to, something to talk about, something that isn't like, hey, did you see it? Did you see episode 4 yet already? Because I watched all of them in the first 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. We used to give you such a hard time about watching Daredevil once a week, and now I kind of wish I could go back in time and do it. But the way that Morgan
also looks at his Christmas presents before he peeks at his Christmas presents before.
I love the 1 a week now.
I appreciate the 1 a week, but if you don't release it 1 a week, you better binge that crap and binge it hard.
Yeah, but think about you and Carson and D. Like, how many times have you set aside, all right, it's Saturday night, we are doing this? Like, that's like bringing people back together, I feel like, especially with the way it works now. Like, I watched Wanda Vision and Captain America and Loki. Like, I set it up with my mom who lives in a different state, and we did Disney Watch, and we watched them both at the same time. And that's something we would have never done if we just could have binged it.
Disney Watch?
That's pretty cool.
That's where like
Watch something at the same time.
you watch at the same time. If they pause it, it pauses on my TV.
Oh, that's when you watch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
You want me to go back and talk about any of those?
Well, I was just going to say, I really, I please forgive us for giving you such a hard time back then during the Netflix show. Because I agree. The weekly is great.
I also think
I don't know what Arcane is, and I really want to watch Ducks.
I heard.
Haven't yet.
I think watching it weekly helps you retain it better as well.
Yeah.
Because I know plenty, like I'll hammer out, you guys, you tell me to watch something, then I go to watch it and I finish in 2 days. I forget things because I hammer through it that my brain just doesn't process it. It just moves on to the next thing right away.
Right.
So I appreciate the one a week. I feel like you retain it better and you appreciate it a little more.
Yeah.
As far as Mighty Ducks go, it sucks. Emilio Estevez isn't coming back for the next season. So I don't know how well.
Can we at least get Charlie?
Is that a spoiler?
Well, I mean,
no, it's not.
It's actually they announced it after.
Yeah, they
the
announced
season.
it.
Yeah, he's just.
I think it's straight money. I think it's straight money.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that does suck.
But Arcane,
that makes me not want to watch
Charlie.
I think you could.
Oh yeah, you could totally do it.
You could do it. That's good thought.
And Arcane is
one that like
you have to read, right? There's no dub.
No, it's English.
I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
It's one that BT put on the TV, and it's that like that clone. It's not Clone Wars, but it's like that 3D rendering anime style.
Yeah.
And whenever I see that, I'm like, I'm not gonna like this. So it was one he put on, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's watch
Haley
an episode.
Steinfeld's in it,
and it actually was good from the first, like the first minute. I was like, okay, maybe I will like this because. The fighting's good. The plot's original. Like it's got good world building, good character development because it happens over a period of time. If you haven't seen it, like, and I think it comes off of a game. I think it's League of Legends. Is that it? What is it built off of?
It can't be League of Legends. That's something else, right?
Yeah, it's in the League of Legends.
League iconic League champions.
League champions.
League champions.
What media is it on?
I think it's Netflix.
It's Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. It says the origins of two iconic League champions. Arcane.
Okay.
Arcane.
It's good. If you haven't seen it, like
Haley Steinfeld is the main actress. Haley Steinfeld from Hawkeye is the main actress or main voice, right?
Yes, I couldn't.
I'm reading it.
She was in the Kate Bishop show.
Yeah. Anyway,
the Hawkeye show.
It's good. The fighting is spectacular. The way they do it's like it builds and it makes like
long season or like short.
I think it's 9 episodes. Okay. I think
it's a 30-minute episode.
No, I think they're like 45 to 50.
I prefer 42.
It's right in that range.
Okay.
No, good choices.
Yeah, good choices. Morgan, top 3.
All right, man. So my number 3 was Loki. I'll preface this. If the show existed in 2021, but I did not watch it until 2022, I didn't count it. Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, like Yellowstone, I love Yellowstone, but I didn't start it till this year, so I'm not counting it. So, number 3, Loki. Number 2, Ted Lasso.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Midnight Mass.
Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched that. I really
very, very good.
I really struggled not putting Ted Lasso on my list. Really
Can I ask a Midnight Mass question? I'll wait till you're there, and then I'll ask it.
Yeah, so Loki, I love Loki because I enjoyed the show itself, but also because of what I know it's setting up of the next phase of Marvel and what we're going to get out of that. And it also satisfied they're never going to really actually show the big bad guy, but they kind of showed the big bad guy, which I really enjoyed that. Ted Lasso, I mean, you guys got me onto that, and I'm so thankful you got me onto that.
Was that 21? Did that come out?
It came out.
The 3rd season came out in 2021.
Yeah, I started watching it in 2021. That was a show that shocked me.
He started watching it.
Yeah, of how good it was, and I love a show that's like Schitt's Creek, where they do the humor and the good heart, and they do it right.
Oh my God, do they do it right?
They do it right. But number one, Midnight Mass, I like it because it slept on me. I didn't know what it really was. Somebody was like, watch it. So I did. And the way they did it, the way they build it, the story, the lines in it, the acting, and the twist of it, of what's really going on was just, I thought it was fantastic on a tale of how I could imagine this thing being brought into the real world, how it would go. And the way it ended is it ended. It's a miniseries. It's done. And I appreciate that because you get a good full story out of however many episodes and it's over. It was a surprise to me. Everything about it, I loved. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So here's my question.
Yes.
Because that one almost made my list, except I didn't feel like it was I felt like it was season 3 because you've had the Haunting of Hill House, and then you had Bly Manor, and then you had this one. Because
is it in that they're
so
connected?
No, they're not connected. It's kind of like
they're not. Yeah, they're connected kind of in the sense that I think in one of those shows, the girl's like holding a book called Midnight Mass.
Yes.
And so in theory, it's like kind of connected, but it is its own show. You don't need to watch any of that to get this show.
It's kind of like American Horror Story. Like they use the same actors and actresses throughout
There's
it.
Matt Saracen in it.
Yes, it is. And it's weird to see him in that role.
Yeah. But it is really good. And the twist of like who you think's going to do what does not turn out what you think. Or some it does turn out what you think. They did a really good job. And by the end, and it's such a build up and the ending, just all about it. I was just like, this is fantastic the way they do it visually and the writing and everything. I was thoroughly impressed by it.
Here's my question though. Which one did you like better? Did you like Midnight Mass, Bly Manor, or Haunting of Hill House?
I didn't watch the other two.
You didn't? Bly Manor.
So Midnight Mass.
Bly Manor sucked. Skip it. Go back and watch Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House is good. That ending.
I know the twist to it, but I do want to watch it.
Watch that one.
Yeah, because I heard the second one's bad.
It's bad.
The first one's where it's at. But I will watch it. But no, Midnight Mass, you two should definitely watch it. It's a mini-series. It's not like it's a whole lot of episodes. You can hammer it out pretty quick. But it's really good. It really is. It's definitely adult, though.
And it's definitely got Matt Saracen in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
It's weird. He's a good actor, and you don't see him in much.
Who is he? Which one is he in the show?
He's the
in Friday Night Lights.
He's the one that comes back to the town.
Yeah, like the hero of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso. The episode, the funeral episode in season 3, is their best episode in 3 seasons.
Again,
and that whole episode, I was just you were talking about every emotion you had.
Listen, I know that episode brought it out. That episode impacted me a lot. I know I had a lot of tears, but I was a bottle deep in whiskey. Ask my wife; she'll tell you all about how good that episode was.
How much an alcoholic you watch?
How good that episode was.
You drink whiskey, you take the TV,
but I just don't remember it.
Next week on the Nerd Rundown, it's an intervention.
It's only an intervention if I'm a bad guy. As long as I'm happy.
Morgan, you gotta check yourself before.
You're not a bad guy. You're not a bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah. I love that episode. I think that was one of the best episodes I've ever watched.
No, it is a good episode. I did watch it again.
I even liked the Love Actually themed episode of that.
Oh yeah, with the dentist and yeah, that cracks me up. It's just a good show.
And Loki is on my list too. I was recently talking with my neighbor Bryant about it because he goes, I've always wanted to ask you why he said, you said this in one of your reviews. You said it's the nerdiest show you've ever watched. What did you mean by that? And I was like, well, it's a show that's got a Viking space god going to the center of time with, other space gods and people, different universes and different timelines, and a guy at the end of all time controlling everything. And it's just the way that they were talking in that movie about variants and all the different it's like that's normal now in 2021, and it was amazing to see and have
Agreed.
The normals watch it and love it. And it touched, it touched all the nerd points in me. So it was so well done. Owen Wilson is unbelievable in that show, and he should have got nominated for like a best supporting actor or something.
Agreed. I think that's one of the things I like so much about it is they went, let's go balls to the wall, real deep with this and see what happens.
Jeez,
and people
very pornographic.
That's a pilot term. That's an old pilot term, balls to the wall. Right, Eric?
Go deep? Isn't that what you said?
Balls to the wall because you were taking the throttle. You were taking the throttle and pushing it. Look it up. Trust me.
Now it's getting really dirty. I feel like no matter what we say or do,
they went all out. And they said, "Let's go crazy."
No matter what we say or do, it's going to get.
They said, "Let's go crazy with multiple universes and all this stuff." Where the casual fan enjoyed it and the nerd fan enjoyed it. It was a good mesh.
Yeah, for sure.
Did D understand it? Like,
yes.
Eric, what are your top 3 shows? I'll save you D on that one.
Her name is Danana.
So I really struggled at the number 3 because there really were 3 shows that kind of fell into this Loki, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier, and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I should say, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Wanda, and ultimately, as much as I loved Loki, I really thought Wanda. I really loved Wanda. I really did. So I have number 3 at Wanda Vision. I just felt more emotion watching how tragic it was for her and how much she missed and loved Vision. And I think, and then of course, the twist at the end there, where we get the villain, who the villain is just great. Yeah. It's just, it was, Mephisto. Yeah. So I really loved WandaVision. I really did. So my number 2 was a series called Only Murders in the Building.
That's good.
With Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Oh yeah.
And so, and
I want to watch this.
Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
And Selena Gomez. And Selena Gomez in this series is like, she steals it. She absolutely steals this show. And there's other characters in the show that come up here and there that do a really good job. Nathan Lane is actually really good in it, and he's not annoying. I find Nathan Lane to be annoying most of the time. In this one, he's not. They find a way to make, going back to our Quiet Place discussion, they find a way to make an episode about a deaf person in a very, very wonderful way, it's a really wonderful, and they did the same thing with Quiet Place. I think, for people who have hearing issues and stuff, it's very tastefully done lately. I think they've been able to do some really good stuff with people who have hearing issues and stuff. So Only Murders in the Building was really great. I'm super excited. They've already said they're going to get, a couple of different, and then I agree with Morgan. Ted Lasso. I had Ted Lasso as my number 1. I adore the show. I really do. What's funny is it's a weekly show, Brett. So I agree with you, and I don't agree with you sometimes, like on this, because I love Ted Lasso so much that I wait until the show is over because I can't wait week to week to watch it. Like, I want to binge that particular show and just consume it all in one thing, because I just can't wait. Almost like it's the Christmas. I'm peeking at my presents, because I just. But like other shows, I do enjoy the week to week, and I think that you need to digest them. But with Ted Lasso, I just want to gobble it up in one sitting and stuff. And I did it with the first one. The first season, I started it at like 8:00 at night because my dental hygienist was like, you need to watch Ted Lasso. And I was like, what are you talking about? You know, and she and I always talk about Alana and we always talk about, shout out to Alana. We always talk shows and stuff. And she's like, you need to watch Ted Lasso. And I was like, okay. So I started watching it like 8:00. Before I know it, it's 2:30 in the morning and I'm like glued to the television watching this show. I just couldn't stop. So
yeah.
Is she a subscriber of the show?
You know, she has talked.
No, don't give her a shout out.
I have talked to her about it.
This is the second season, right? Or is it the
This
third?
was the second season. Yeah. So I think you know, not only do I agree with you about having the characters, the comedy and the lovableness about it, but the ensemble people that they've collected around Ted are just as interesting to me as Ted himself, you know.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, the
really
show does not waver when it goes away from Ted.
No.
Keely, I love Keely. I think she's hilarious. Not only is she hot, but she's hilarious, you know. I normally
Roy was an MVP this season.
I find the F-bomb to be like after a while it becomes offensive, you know, like it just becomes too much. But I never get tired of hearing Roy drop the F-bomb. I really don't. Some of the other characters, Jamie, the arc that Jamie has taken from the first episode of, you know, for the first episode of that to this season, especially his situation with his dad and Roy. Yeah. I was so like, cool. Holy smokes, that was so amazing to watch. And so you have the redemption of this one guy who's just a real son of a bitch from like the get-go. And then you have a character that you absolutely love and adore, and he becomes like the Darth Vader. All of a sudden, he becomes like this. And you're like, oh man, it's just
that's the real Anakin Darth Vader story.
And, you know, and I'm fully expecting Jamie to become Roy, in the sense of like, you know, he's redeeming himself and he's become that character that is the reliable. I've been through this. Yeah. But no, they do a great job with the one character. I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but the one character turning to like the dark side, and how the appearance of him changes.
What a twist.
You know, like they do a great job.
I mean, it was such a great twist, so well done.
Yeah.
And Hannah Waddingham as Rebecca,
just from Game of Thrones,
the Shame woman. Yeah, but I don't remember her last name in the show. But
she's gorgeous.
She is a powerhouse in all levels.
Gorgeous. She's fantastic.
Actress. I mean, she's just
super talented.
Super talented.
Yeah. Like, gorgeous, and she's a good actress too.
Yeah.
So. Not at all. No,
I don't hate it when she's on TV.
No, not at all. She's got some legs. That's for sure.
I do want to try the biscuits Ted makes though. Those.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I've
heard the recipe is out there somewhere.
I'll say this about Wanda Vision, Erik, is you didn't get to watch it week to week. And I think that the week to week really made WandaVision better because the amount of theories that were going into the show
and that was the first one, so that was insane.
It was insane, and it enhanced the show like I've never felt before.
Right.
And I think it may have even to its own detriment because the ending wasn't any of that, and it was. It felt like we were cheated out of something, and I'm like, man, it could have been that. So up until the finale, I mean, that show was like Heroes season 1 level of excitement.
When Quicksilver shows up and you're like, no, they didn't just do
old boner.
I think the part I don't like about that stuff. I think M. Night Shyamalan suffers from that same exact thing where people watch the trailer, you know, or they watch the trailer. They have this expectation of what they think the movie is going to be. Yeah. And then when it doesn't meet that, instead of letting them, you know, I've said this a dozen times, let them tell you a story and then see it. So when the theory that you had doesn't match what the movie is, you're disappointed. You know,
and I get that. Like, and I get that. And I'm totally with you on that. But it was the first MCU show. Think about the behemoth that the MCU is and what they can do. and it's the first show where you get to dive in on a weekly basis. I mean, it was insane.
First canon one.
Yeah, first canon one. First canon, yeah.
You know, and I got to give a shout out to a buddy of mine, Cale Perkins, who was in my wedding.
You're married?
Surprisingly.
Not after this episode.
She's not watching this one. No, but
we had
give a shout out to him. He's a big follower of the show.
Thank you.
And loves it. But I talked to him about Wanda Vision, and he was like, watched an episode. He was out, but he listened to the show, and he was like, all right, I got to watch this. And he watched it, and it's one of his favorite shows. Again, that's Cale Perkins. I'll get him to submit a nerd question one of these days that we can go off of.
I think what I liked about WandaVision was like her tragedy isn't the snap. Her tragedy is like leading up to the snap. Like you feel for her not because
from
of
her
her
whole
loss,
life,
because everybody lost.
From day one.
You feel for her because her loss is forever.
Yeah,
like at least to this point, it's forever.
Yeah.
And it goes back to my earlier comment, I think maybe in the previous episode, the rundown. That superhero life is a lonely, it's a lonely existence, you know, like it because the people that you care about, in this case, Vision, you know, they're all destined to, you know, it just is a lonely life. I
get it.
You know, so
I get it. And go ahead, Mark.
They did a good job at retconning the whole we don't have mutants, they're special or whatever they called them. You know, when we first got introduced to Quicksilver and WandaVision.
Miracles.
And they retconned it in this show of like the miracles of like we learned she's always had this.
Yeah.
And
it really was.
And the stone kind of amplified it, but she's always had this. So now we get like, okay, so now they can bring mutants back.
And one hell of a badass costume for Scarlet Witch at the end. Holy shit.
He's clearly the most badass and most beautiful of the MCU.
We're talking about the end one or the Halloween one?
No, the end.
Both of them, really.
The Halloween's good, but the end.
The Halloween was good. It was a good callback, and if that's the only Scarlet Witch costume we got, it would have been cool. But the
doing her thing, turning evil, because I think she's going to be a little bit evil. Madness.
And you can have that costume now for the rest of the MCU, which is great. So good list, Erik.
Did you do yours then?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. So number 3. Mine were all that premiered in 2021. So number 3 for me was Sweet Tooth. Anybody watch Sweet Tooth?
I love that show.
And such a good show.
So good.
Number 2 was Mayor of Easttown.
I almost had that too.
Oh my gosh.
Phenomenal.
And number 1.
It's like you guys almost touched tips.
Almost.
You were this
a little bit of docking.
A little closer. And Loki was my number 1. So to go back to Sweet Tooth, I always know when I'm watching a show that's like meaningfully like that's going to mean a lot to me, or that I'm going to absolutely love because I dream about it. And I it's a weird thing. I don't know, but if I dream about it and I put myself into that world, that's when I know it's a show that I love. And that happened with me a few episodes into Sweet Tooth. What a great story that was. I really hope we get more of these episodes.
So good.
Is
that a comic as well?
It is. Yeah,
it's a graphic novel. And
the funny thing about that is like it very impactful. The story, the writing, the acting, all about is fantastic. It's produced by the Robert Downey Juniors.
Yeah.
Is that what you call a married couple of it? The Downeys. I don't like the way that sounds.
Mayor of Kingstown?
Mayor of Easttown, M-A-R-E.
I think Mayor. Kingstown's the skateboarding one. But no, Sweet Tooth. And it's funny because when I tell people like, oh, you got to watch Sweet Tooth, and they go, what's it about? And I'm like, well, it's about this deer hybrid boy. And people are like, "Ow!" I'm like, "No!" Like you gotta watch it. Like I can't describe it to you because it sounds stupid, but it's a good show.
But it's like a great pandemic show too.
It is. It's a really good show. Everything about it, and I'm excited for what's to come with that.
Yeah.
I
to get more.
I think I watched the first 3 episodes and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
Like it was one of them shows that I enjoyed, but I had to stop it for some reason, and then I just never came back to it. And I haven't had a reason not to come back to it. I
Yeah.
just didn't.
right. He just got distracted with other things. Yeah.
Zaroxandoxis from Game of Thrones is what's his name in Sweet Tooth? But
Big guy.
big big guy.
Yeah, it's just a big guy.
It is big guy. Yeah. What a surprise of a show that was.
Mhm.
Mayor of Easttown is getting a lot of acclaim. I freaking love. I think I've said this before. I freaking love small town shit. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and this is a
Especially small town murder mystery shit.
small town murder mystery shit. This is an American Broadchurch type show with so many twists and turns.
It's
From
like
the
a
very
Killing
first episode,
style.
you're like, you're like, all right,
That was a
here's
good
my
one.
theory.
Mhm.
And, you know, Banana and I both gave our theories.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was out after like the second episode.
Same.
And I came up with this Banana came up with this brilliant theory. And I'm like, dang, you nailed it. And she was out by episode 4. And I was like, Jesus, this show is amazing.
It's really good.
And it's small. It's just outside of Philly.
What's that on?
So
HBO.
it feels like you're in Columbia, PA, almost. You know.
That's a good, like the outskirts of Columbia.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's like it feels like that. I mean, they're in
I
Pennsylvania.
want to be there.
No, it's a really good
Yeah, I
show,
know.
and the acting in it's phenomenal. What's her name? Titanic.
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet is awesome in it. Roy's in it from The Office. It's
Yeah, and he's awesome. He's like a handsome man in it. Like he's got a beard.
Yeah.
For sure.
he's way better at 13.
Anybody with a beard looks better.
What's he?
Everybody, when you have a beard, you
You
look
should take that personal,
better.
Eric. Take that personal.
Yeah, when you have a beard, you look better. Without a beard, you're just
I
dumb.
was trying to get his attention there.
No,
All right.
Brett, the way I describe it is like it's a more intense version of The Killing.
Yeah,
I really like The Killing. That was great.
Yeah, if you like
you'll
The
like
Killing,
this.
you're gonna like Mary.
You'll like this.
Yeah.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I'd asked that earlier.
What?
He asked that, and I explained it was on
He
HBO.
did ask. He did ask.
Thanks for your fantastic inputs.
Anyway,
You'll catch it when you watch it later with Banana. So
exactly.
Right. So-
That's when I really listen to Morgan. I don't listen to him right now.
So remember, folks, Mayor of Easttown, go to Netflix,
Mayor.
check it out.
Netflix.
well, I thought it was the Mayor of Easttown. I'll have to check it out. But I also had put on my list something to watch was the Mayor of Kingstown. Which
that one is
with
the
Jeremy
Yellowstone
Renner.
guys. The Yellowstone creator made that. That is on our list of.
Is that Wanda Vision in it too? Or what's her name?
It's got Jeremy Renner and
Kyle Chandler, Friday Night
Kyle
Lights.
Chandler. Yeah,
Oh, that's
Coach
right.
Taylor, yeah.
Yeah.
It's but the guy who created Yellowstone created that show.
Kevin Costner.
he's
And I haven't
actually
watched
in.
1883 too. I really like.
So Taylor, if you're watching Yellowstone, did we talk about this? That Taylor Sheridan is actually in the show.
The show, yeah.
Yeah, he plays one of the cowboy, the cowboy, and I was blown away when I found that out. I was like, holy smokes!
Oh, really? Well, it's Yellowstone,
Yeah, okay.
which we were talking about, but also Mayor of Kingstown is a totally different show, like created by the same guy. And Eric's talking about the creator of those shows. His name is Taylor Sheridan. He has a big role in season 4 of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Is he?
I knew that because I've seen his
Have you
interviews.
guys seen Heller?
He plays
Hell
cowboy.
or High Water?
Yeah, I have.
That's
seen
what I thought you were talking about. Hell or High
Yeah.
Water. That's what
Yeah.
I was talking about.
A great movie.
Yeah, he created that Hell or High Water. It was a great movie. And
He did a couple other things too.
yeah, I mean,
That's what
yeah. So
who's that
what's
with?
that?
Who's in that?
And
That's with Chris Pine.
Chris Pine and Jeff
and,
Bridges,
Jeff Bridges, and then the other
And
guy, Ben
Foster,
Ben Foster,
and
who
Gil Birmingham. is in it,
severely
too.
underrated actor, like
I
a
love Ben Foster.
tremendous actor.
Ben
He
Foster.
played one of my favorite. If you guys have read or seen the Lone Survivor story,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
played
that's
he
pretty
played
good.
Matthew
yeah.
It's
Jackson.
Sicario, Brett. He
I watched
wrote
the movie.
Sicario.
I didn't read.
Yep. He played Matthew Axelson from.
He's also in a very underrated movie I like.
But Taylor Sheridan also wrote
called.
Sicario, Brett, and the sequel to Sicario.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that. He's brilliant. I mean, he's really brilliant. So I have watched 1883, and
I haven't. I really want to.
Good. I've heard there's some surprisingly big cameos in it.
There are some surprisingly big cameos in it. Additionally, just it's a different pace. That's all I'm going to say. It's a different pace from Yellowstone. So don't expect
as it should be.
that,
It's
but,
100 years later.
Yeah.
All right.
Yellowstone's the Sopranos in the West.
Yeah, I freaking love Yellowstone so much. All right.
It's so good.
That's my
What's
top
next?
3 TV shows. So what's next is a category of one. So we're each gonna give our top etc. media, meaning top
That's
podcast,
medium.
top book, top medium, top etc. medium. Whether it's a
That's
podcast,
psychic.
comic book, could be a YouTube show. Whatever you wanted
The
to
Nerd
throw in
Rundown.
here, this will
Video
give us.
game.
That's not Nerd Rundown. Or a video game. Whatever you wanted it to be. And we want to do this to give a big shout out to them as well. So I will start with you, Erik.
I know this is going to make you guys laugh, but I discovered a YouTube channel called Wavy Boats. And then it has a sister channel called Miami Boat Ramps. And all it is really is they have these cameras set up at the end of the dock. You just watch people try and put their boat in the water or try and pull their jet skis out of the water. And
I got to write that down.
What? That's your
it is.
Say it again.
I watch it and I love
what
it.
is it?
Wavy boat.
So it's called Wavy Boats, like Navy boats, but it's Wavy Boats. And so they have a couple of ones. They have another one called Miami Boat Ramps. And the Miami Boat Ramps is actually how I found the Wavy Boats. So the Wavy Boats is they actually sit at the end of this inlet, and it's this haul over inlet, and the waves get like really big, and you watch these people come in with these $1 million boats. They're gorgeous. But then you get the everyday weekender who just noses into these waves all the time. And oh my gosh, it's brilliant.
Okay, got it.
I can honestly say I did not expect that at all.
I don't think
Everything I could think of, nothing.
Well, Morgan, what's your top best
Mine-
medium, etc. medium?
Mine was video games.
Which one?
So my genre is video games. Because last year, I mean, being in a pandemic, we all had a lot of time to do stuff. I played the hell of a lot of video games, and I didn't pick just one video game. Like my medium was video games because I had Guardians of the Galaxy game came out last year, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
Pick it up if you haven't. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Fantastic. It Takes Two, which is a co-op only game. I played it with my son. There's some themes in it that might have been a little too mature for him. He might have got scarred at this one part where we tore a stuffed animal apart. Get there, you'll see. Good game. Resident Evil Village was fantastic. And this game didn't come out. This game didn't come out in 2021. But Warzone, which is the Call of Duty online multiplayer, I actually built a lot of connections with people that I call friends now through that. People that
you met a guy on the internet.
They're friends of people I actually know.
Morgan, you and D, I know. Come on, you guys.
No, they're
that
friends
much,
of people I know, and I actually got to meet some of them because they're friends of people I know. But no, video games, I think is what it was. Again, check out every game on there that I listed. Screw this guy over here.
I'm watching this Wavy Boat.
This Wavy Boat is real funny, dude.
Listen, this guy who's Wavy Boats.
I'm sorry,
Morgan. Where I'm making actual
Morgan,
connections.
I want to use your time for more of Eric's talking. Can we back it to Eric?
I was like, I gotta turn this off in a second.
You got it. I'm telling you, the Miami boat ramp stuff is brilliant. Like,
I can't wait to watch more of that.
Like, just watching a person try and back a jet ski trailer down this thing it's awesome. It is.
Watching that. The first one that came
Brett?
up is
I'm not there yet.
People got pummeled in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was it
Okay.
wavy boats?
Sorry,
Wavy
Morgan.
boats. I'm
Wavy
sorry.
boats. Okay.
Your video games are very important.
Brett,
No, screw
Brett.
you guys.
What was your best Etc. Media?
Who cares?
Miami boat ramps. No, I gotta find my notes now. Oh,
2022 doesn't count.
it's a YouTube channel that I like to watch as well. Sam the Cooking Guy. If you like cooking,
He's a good
man,
one.
Okay.
I
He's a
love
good
that
one.
dude. It's
I want to get that grill he has, that round flat top.
yeah.
Same
Like
thing.
Blackstone?
$1 billion.
Yeah.
But he has a restaurant. It's called Not Tacos, and I think he has another one now. But I like him because,
Watching wavy
not-
boats.
because they're not recipes that like you can't do at home. Like, you know how there's always like, and now I'm going to put in this spice that you can only get in the Antarctic. It's none of that.
Yeah.
If you watch one, I love his creamy cheesy pasta. Man, I
Egg
make
and a
that
whole egg and a whole grilled cheese sandwich. What?
like I
Yeah.
make that once a week. Creamy
Yeah, that
cheesy
sounds
pasta.
so good. Oh,
It's like
okay.
6 ingredients.
All right. Oh, really?
Yes, and it's
Creamy cheese pasta?
creamy cheesy pasta.
Creamy cheesy pasta. All right.
It's like
I will check
it's
that
like
out.
it's not many ingredients, and
Yeah, I'm
he-
excited to see that.
he puts them out Monday,
Mexican
Wednesday,
cheese.
Friday.
He's got a lot of good stuff.
He's got a lot
All
of
right.
good stuff.
My top Etc. Media. It was really hard not to pick one of my
Miami boat ramps.
really hard not to pick wavy boats because that's I cannot.
Wavy
Well,
boats
I
is
don't
about
even-
to
how do you
become my
come across-
2022.
How do you come across that?
I have no idea.
I was like, what is this? Oh my god, they just got pummeled in the face.
Eric's over there. People almost drowning videos. Just the wavy boats.
I have a Australian podcast I love that's all about that we get a lot of influence from. They're great, but I went with a new reaction channel on YouTube, a channel called Heroes Reforged. It's three friends that were they used to be in the special effects industry. One now I think still is, but they do a really great job reacting to the weekly Marvel shows and Star Wars shows, and they do some other things that I haven't watched yet, but they do reviews of movies and freaking super funny guys. And I love one of the main guys. Well, I guess it's one of the three, but his name's Hector Navarro. He's super funny. He's very, very nerdy. And his when you're reacting, we talked about this prior. It's like we wouldn't be like that, and they play it up a little. I think these guys' reactions are real for the most part. But Hector is when he when Kingpin came on, he got so he nerded out really hard, and it was I related to what he was doing and just everything that they do on that show. It's a really good reaction show. They speak really well. Very funny. Very, very, very good reaction channel that's really growing. So
What was it
definitely Heroes Reforged.
Heroes Reforged.
Okay, so that'll give us a chance to give them a shout out. But we want to end on a sour note. No, but we want to know what you think is the worst thing you watched in 2021. I'll start with you, Brett King. What was the
And don't call it a sour note. We call it a warning note.
There you go. This will be kind of funny. But worst thing you watched in 2021, Brett?
I would have to say it's definitely Morgan's take on Luke Skywalker. Every time it's cringe.
Damn it, that's a good answer. Listen,
I don't know how you follow that.
Listen, I've officially.
See you next week on the Nerd Rundown Presents.
I officially stated my opinion on the internet, and I was not attacked, so I win.
Well, my real answer, and I'm going to get some hate, and I'll live with that. I did not like Dune. I did not like Dune, and I'm taking Dune because it was 2 hours and 35 minutes that felt like 6 hours that I want back.
Yeah.
And I might just be too dumb to understand what was going on, but it was like,
that's it.
It might be.
Is it because it was just a part one, do you think? Or
I don't know, because it was one of those shows where like it was made before, right? Like there was a Dune back in
it was an 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
And that's like Stargate to me. Like it's something that like I should be interested in. I should like, because I like that thing. But then I watch it, I'm like, God, I can't do this. And that's another one that I turn on and it's like, I should like this. Everything about this screams, I should like it. Why don't I like it?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have an
That's
answer.
understandable. Yeah.
I can understand. And then I'll say my experience was IMAX.
Yeah.
IMAX with one of my closest friends. That's how I experienced it. So it might have made it better for me. I did not watch it at home. So that maybe if I didn't watch it in the IMAX with the sounds and the big visuals and just watch it at home, I might have been like, you know what, there really isn't much to it. It's, but I don't know. Like I said, it was in my top movies.
Did you like Game of Thrones? Did you like the Game of Thrones stuff? So do you like the political type?
Yeah, and I follow that. Like I understand it. So I just like I'm trying to think.
Do you like cool shit? Is that what he's?
Do you like stuff that everybody else likes?
Do you like Luke Skywalker?
Do you truly think he's the best hero?
I felt like it was, to me, I feel like I didn't like it because it felt like I should have known it was coming, because it was an 80s movie that I should have known it was coming, because I tried it before and I saw the trailer and it was like I misrepresented what I thought it was going to be in my own head. It was kind of like the M. Night Shyamalan, where I built it up to be something that it wasn't going to be. And it's completely my fault, because I knew it wasn't going to be that.
And I would say,
I get that.
I would say we should revisit your opinion on it after like the second movie comes out.
Yeah. Part two.
And see if you have the same feelings about the first when part two hits.
And see that in theaters. I haven't seen it yet. I never got a chance to see it in theaters, and then I didn't get.
I thought you watched it.
I didn't, but I wanted to watch it in my own home theater, and then that's been under construction and only recently been finished. So, yeah, I might have to take a trip up there and watch it on Eric's bougie theater.
Come stay the night. You get touch tips.
Morgan, what was the worst thing you watched in 2021?
Worst thing that I watched, and I'm upset that I watched it. And now I'm second guessing whether this was 2021, but I'm pretty sure it was. The Matrix.
Resurrections. Yeah, that was well, it came out in December of last year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I watched it because I was like, well, it's Matrix. I like the Matrix. I'm going to watch this. And I watched it. Danana fell asleep.
Danana. Wow. All right.
Fell asleep while watching it. And when it was over, I woke her up, right? To go to bed. I wake her up and she's like, oh, and I was like, I looked at her and I go, I'm so upset with that movie. I just need to go to bed. I was so upset with it because there were some themes in it that I think were themes that I'm making are themes that they did not intend, where I felt like there was a little bit of like, you need a strong relationship to have a bond and do this. But it was really just like, they were like, hey, can we make some money? I got to pay off this house. People will go because it's Matrix. They retconned a lot of things. And, spoiler, I'm not going to name specific things, but it was like, Neo being the one was just trash. It didn't effing matter. And that's what upset me. And you can also tell that they were older, trying to do some karate and kung fu. And you could just tell, like, Neo was he wasn't even really fighting. He just went to like force field crap. Yeah. And it was just upsetting. Everything about it was upsetting. And they tried to play it off like, oh, we're so introspective and picking on the genre and doing this, that it was like, no, I think you just made a crap movie and you were banking on people thinking that, but it's just a crap movie. And I'm so upset you made this movie.
Yep.
Brett, Please tell me what you're thinking. Like, I've got to know. I've got to.
Stroking the beard.
He does.
Because like, do you think it was because they were getting older, or do you think it was the writing? Because it was
the writing, because I've seen Keanu Reeves in John
that's what
Wick.
I'm saying. Like, that's not him.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. I think it's the writing. I think because of the direction they did, they were making Keanu Reeves, the Neo, not as important. The first 3 movies were literally about him being the one to save everything. And this movie was like, F that. It doesn't matter. So I think they wrote him off that way. And it was very upsetting. I liked what's his name from Glee? He was also in Frozen. I can't think of his name. I know, it's my boy. He's a native in Lancaster. A guy I used to work with, got a picture with him in Lancaster at the train station.
Groff.
Yes.
Jonathan Groff.
Christoph.
Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
Jonathan Groff, right?
I kind of liked him in it, but at the same time, what makes him realize who he is was just stupid. It was literally, he picked up a Desert Eagle and was like, oh, I remember who I am. Yeah. I was like, that's just like, everything about it was just kind of, and when they needed to do like the nostalgia, they literally just took clips from the old movies and threw them in.
Brett, did you like this movie?
I didn't even bother watching it. That's what I was just doing. Yeah. BT watched it, and I pulled up his quote for when he texted the group.
Read it, because that's a very good point.
Word for word what Erik said. Almost.
Yeah, it is. He said the first half of the movie is so up its own ass with fourth wall breaking, bullshit, pretending to be smarter than it really is. And when it doesn't get to the action, and when it does get to the action, it's a different style. The old movies weren't afraid to pull the camera back so you could see the fight choreography. New movie is too tight in and it all blurs together. So the thing The Matrix is known for isn't even there.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And
it's my number one also, like the biggest disappointment. It was a pile of shit. I'll just say it. It was awful. I mean, it was absolutely awful. Like I do agree that I liked the agent and the Smith, the recasting of that. I didn't mind that so much.
And it's the way they did him, like the way he comes in when he comes in, and it's like, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it just was really bad. It was really bad from beginning to end. And if Ghostbusters Afterlife is, or even Cobra Kai, it is how you do nostalgia appropriately, or at least with
a way to make
like a wink, like a wink,
the right way to do it.
A wink and a nod to your audience, because we all know, like, hey, we're gonna go revisit these guys, and it's gonna be different than what you at least have some respect for your audience. I feel like they never respect for their audience at all. Like they just were like, hey, we're gonna shove this down your throat, and you're gonna love it because it's more of the Matrix. And it's like, well, no, I don't like it.
There's a scene, I won't say who or what, but it's a machine or a program getting beat on that, like, the program's reacting to it like, or like, it's like, no, you're a program. Like, why would you program yourself to feel pain? It was just such a weird, like, just watching, you'll know. You'll know what I'm talking about. It
was funny. One night BT texted one group and was like, The Matrix Resurrections is a shithole movie. And then the next night, Erik texted the
exact same thing.
Exactly. Like, Matrix was a shithole movie.
It really was. It was bad.
So,
really disappointed, because I really wanted it to be good. I want that. I want more
Matrix.
There's so much more you could do in that world. And
I think you in that universe. To do a different story, like same universe, different story.
Right. I'll point out too that
I was so
Lana Wachowski, who was behind the film, Lana Wachowski's sister wrote the originals, came out and was like, before the movie came out, was like, I had nothing to do with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think she knew,
I think they were being honest.
My effing name. Like, I am out of this.
I truly believe that they were being completely honest during the scene of the movie where they're brainstorming ideas, where they basically said exactly what Warner Brothers told them. Hey, we're going to make a new Matrix movie. Are you in or are you out? You know, like, I think that's basically what they said to them. And they said, all right, well, I don't want it to get too screwed up, so at least I'll stay in and try and make a story that I want to tell. Yeah. But you know, and then it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And I there's a lot, there's a lot to it. But
I heard a good rumor that the machines are actually the good guys.
So what's crazy is, like, I to go back to what Brett was saying about there's other stories in that universe. If any of you guys watch the Animatrix stuff, there was some really good good stuff, good stories in there. Like they have the situation with how the machines, initially are just meant to help people, and then they slowly become self-aware, and then you have this revolt.
It's a tale as old as time.
Right. And that's a great story.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. But the only
samurai story that they told.
The only thing that could be worse than this is Snow Spit.
I don't know. I'm gonna say that I haven't watched it, and I need to watch it. And
no, you don't.
I mean, I do need to watch it. Like, it's one of those movies that I'm just.
I think you just gotta be careful because you can ruin things you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
go into it disappointed, and maybe you like it more.
I honestly feel like
no expectation.
I honestly feel like if we'd stopped with The Matrix, that would have been fine. I would have been totally fine with just the original movie.
We did not need anything after that.
Yeah.
My worst thing that I watched in 2021, I love movies. And even if I'm watching
the Denver Broncos,
and it's not very good. Yeah, basically. If I'm watching a movie and it's not very good, I always still finish it. Like, it's just, I can't. It's hard for me to walk away from movies.
Yeah.
But the worst movie I watched, and I didn't watch this all in one night. I didn't care enough to finish it, which just never happens, is the Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
And you know what really pissed me off about this is it was a movie night where I had Banana and her sister Carrie. I won the movie night. I got to pick the movie. And Carrie lasted about 10 minutes before she was out, and Banana fell asleep 20 minutes later. And so I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, I'm just going to finish this movie. And I didn't even want to finish the movie. I finished it like a night or two later, and I was like, God, that is the worst movie I've seen in a very, very long time. And then
it was pretty bad.
Nothing redeeming about it.
What was that based off the
true life events of?
What do you mean? Was it? I don't know if it was based on.
It's not. It's an original.
Zack Snyder wrote it.
Okay. It's a Zack Snyder. It's an original from him. I think the redeeming quality is Gunter. I thought Gunter was.
I think the problem with
watching that movie, like, I can't wait for the Gunter movie.
The problem with that movie is I feel like
the Gunter movie.
It could set up a lot in a weird zombie universe if they flesh it out. But I don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean, the best part of that movie is the first 5 minutes, and that's it.
But there's so many with the robot zombies, the aliens, the time.
Right. There's possibilities, and I really want to watch I really do want to watch the Gunter movie.
Yeah, and I didn't watch that either.
I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to.
But I heard the Army of Thieves is better than that. I heard it's actually a good movie.
But it's another heist movie. But
it's not even a zombie movie, right?
Yeah.
No, like, they're just kind of like news reports. It's more about the heist.
Well, it continues our opinion of Netflix movies that just.
Yeah.
They're the outlet mall. They're the outlet mall of movies. Like.
Can I give you another list real quick? This is my list. Remember, I said earlier of movies that I wish I'd watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about them because I didn't see them.
All right, so we'll go quick.
Okay. I wanted to see 8-Bit Christmas and I didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody I thought looked good and I didn't go see it.
Same.
Green Knight, I heard was amazing in the trailer.
Same.
That was amazing too.
And I didn't go see it.
Same.
And American Underdog wasn't playing in any theater within 50
What's
miles.
American Underdog?
That's the movie
Kurt
with
Warner.
the Kurt Warner movie.
Warner, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
In,
I really want to see that too. That's a really good list.
Yeah.
I agree.
Shazam, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I agree with that list 100%. I except for 8-bit. I mean, I got to see that, but
Yep.
what was it?
I didn't get to see Dune. I didn't, I want to see
Green
that.
Knight. Green Knight. What else? Nobody.
Green Knight. Yeah,
I heard
nobody.
Nobody's really
Nobody.
good.
Okay.
Is that in the Get Out universe?
I don't know. Like, I
Is
remember
it
seeing trailers and I thought,
Get
Same
out the
guy?
horror story. No, Nobody's the one about the Bob Odenkirk, the comedian. That's like a John Wick type.
That's right.
Yeah,
My dad loved that movie, and he said,
I heard it's good. I heard he
Nobody's
does
the
a
one. The guy
fantastic job.
from he's the guy
Bob
from
Odenkirk.
Yeah, Bob
Odenkirk.
Odenkirk. Better Call
the
Saul.
guy from Better Call Saul, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
I want to watch that so bad. So my dad loved
You're
it.
goddamn
That's a
right.
great list. Yeah.
I heard it's good. One of
Um,
these days I'll watch Breaking Bad.
listen, 2021 had a lot of highlights. We got our first set of Marvel shows. Book of Boba Fett has started. Technically, we've watched most of it in 2022. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's been amazing. The second
should
episode
talk
was some
about
of the
it.
best Star Wars I've ever seen. So, as we look forward to 2022 next week, start thinking
Luke
about
Skywalker's better
what
than
your most anticipated movies and TV shows and of 2022 are, and let us know. We may even read them on the show. So looking forward to that. Great list, fellas. Really appreciate the insight on all that nerdy shit that we got going on this past year. So with that being said, thank you, and we'll see you next week on the Nerd Rundown Presents.
See ya. Bye.
Deuces.